Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. By using our link, you can get 10% off your first month of therapy. So, Naz, as a therapist on BetterHelp, what has your experience been like?
I've been doing it since January 2021, and it's been really fun and exciting. I've been able to reach clients all over the United States and the world. I've had good relationships. I've had folks that I've had for a couple months and a good handful where I've had for almost 2 years now. So it's magnificent. I've enjoyed my time and my clients. I love them.
Awesome. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel the most comfortable. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/DSP or choose Different Spectrums podcast during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Hey everybody, we back again.
Hey, we're back. We're live. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm Spencer, and that's our deep-voiced licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Guido, Dr. Nas. Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
The gabagool. The gabagool.
Heart attack.
Remember, don't take us too seriously.
Or do. It's completely up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So before we get into the old nitty-gritty, we have a guest for the show today. He is a counseling psychologist and just found out he actually did some stand-up back in the day. Please welcome to the show, Daniel Lattimore.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
Dad.
Nice to have you. Nice to have you and to creep you out also. So today we are doing the movie The Incredibles, the classic. Some topics that we're going to be covering. We're going to be talking about identities. We're going to be talking about perception of heroes. We're also going to be talking about masking, of course. What does a work-life balance look like? As well as having high expectations for those that we see that we think are above us. Also, we're going to be talking about this thing called accelerated grief. What the hell is that? We'll be getting into it. Naz, anything before we get into the show?
We're going to have some fun. I'm going to be talking shit rapidly. Because it's nice. It's always nice to have obviously someone of color on the pod, right? It's hard to get folks of color on the pod. We're busy. We got shit to do. We're grinding out there, right? It's very small minority of us, that have doctorates. And so I'm blessed to have you on. Thank you for creating some time and getting back to us, because it took a while. I forgot about you. And then you hit us up like, hey, man, I'm doing this. Let's do it. I was like, oh, okay. Black Jesus. All right. He appeared out of nowhere. He's risen. So I'm excited. So Spence hit all the topics perfectly. But we are going to have some fun. Buckle in for that, folks. Some really good topics that I didn't see coming from the clips. So enjoy the clips. I know Spence already preluded to it, but we got someone with a brain. And as I said in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, is a juicy, wet brain. It is wet. Yeah, no.
All right.
So let's get into it. Let's have some fun. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Woo woo. There you go.
Skull.
There you go. Skull. Skull. Skull.
All right.
4-0, baby.
Shut up.
This is soon.
That's fine.
I mean, I can break through walls. I just can't
That's fine.
get this.
So, Mr. Incredible, do you
What?
have a secret identity?
Every superhero has a secret identity. I don't know a single one who doesn't. Who wants the pressure of being super all the time?
Of course I have a secret identity. Can you see me in this at the supermarket? Come on. Who'd want to go shopping as Elastigirl, you know what I mean?
Super ladies, they're always trying to tell you their secret identity. Think it'll strengthen the relationship or something like that. I said, girl, I don't want to know about your mild-mannered alter ego or anything like that. I mean, you tell me you're a super, mega, ultra lightning babe, that's all right with me. I'm good. I'm good.
No matter how many times you save the world, it always manages to get back in jeopardy again. I mean, sometimes I just want it to stay saved, you know, for a little bit. I feel like the maid. I just cleaned up this mess. Can we keep it clean for 10 minutes?
How do you get to that point? Wait,
Please?
don't get up yet. Not finished.
Sometimes I think I just like the simple life, you know, relax a little and raise a family.
Settle down. Are you kidding? I'm at the top of my game. I'm right up there with the big dogs. Girls, come on. Leave the saving of the world to the men? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Thank you, Mr. Incredible. You've done it again.
Yeah, you're the best.
No, I'm just here to help.
Attention all units. We have a tour bus robbery into the...
Tour bus robbery. I've still got time. Officers, ma'am, squeaker.
Cool, ready for takeoff.
What the? Who are you supposed to be?
Well, I'm Incrediboy.
What? No, you're that kid from the fan club. Brody, buddy.
My name is Incrediboy.
Look, I've been nice. I've stood for photos, signed every scrap of paper you pushed at me, but this is...
No, you don't have to worry about training me. I know all your moves, your crime-fighting style, favorite catchphrases, everything. I'm your #1 fan. Hey, wait!
You know, you can tell a lot about a woman by the contents of her purse, but maybe that's not what you had in mind.
Hey, look.
Elastigirl.
Mr. Incredible.
No, it's all right. I've got him.
Sure you got him. I just took him out for
Well,
you.
sure, you took him out. His attention was on me.
A fact I exploited to do my job.
My job, you mean?
A simple thank you will suffice.
Thanks, but I don't need any help.
Whatever happened to ladies first?
Well, whatever happened to equal treatment?
Hey, look, wait. The lady got me first.
Well, we could share, you know.
I work alone.
Well, I think you need to be more flexible.
Are you doing anything later?
I have a previous engagement.
Now, you just stay here. They usually pick up the garbage in an hour.
Incredible!
Hey, Frozo!
Shouldn't you be getting ready?
I still got time!
Is that enough?
I think you broke something.
Well, with counseling, I think he'll come to forgive me. Wait a minute.
curious about how I get around so fast? See, I have these rocket boots.
Go
They're
home,
made-
buddy.
What?
Now.
Can we talk? You always say be true to yourself, but you never say which part of yourself to be true to. Well, I finally figured out who I am. I am your ward. Incrediboy!
And now you have officially carried it too far, buddy.
Oh! This is because I don't have powers, isn't it? Well, not every superhero has powers, you know. You can be super without them. I invented these. I can fly. Can you fly?
Fly home, buddy. I work alone.
Oui, et ta tenue est complètement ridicule.
Just give me one chance. I'll show you. I'll go get the police.
Buddy, don't!
It'll only take a second, really.
No, stop! There's a bomb!
Whoa, hey! Let go! You're wrecking my flight pattern! I can do this! We need
Take this one home and make sure his mom knows what he's been doing.
I can help you! You're making a mistake!
The injured jumper. You sent paramedics?
They've already picked him up.
The blast in that building was caused by Bomb Voyage, who I caught in the act of robbing the vault. Now, we might be able to nab him if we set up a perimeter.
You mean he got away?
Well, yeah. Skippy here made sure of that.
Incrediboy!
You're not affiliated with me! Holy smokes, I'm late. Listen, I've got to be somewhere.
But what about Bon Voyage?
Any other night, I'd go after him myself, but I've really got to go. But don't worry! We'll get him! Eventually! Hey, is the night still young?
You're very late.
How do I look? Good?
Oh, the mask. You still got the mask.
Showtime.
Robert Parr, will you have this woman to be your lawful wedded wife?
You're late. When you asked me if I was doing anything later, I didn't realize you'd actually forgotten. I thought it was playful banter.
It was playful banter.
Cutting it kind of close, don't you think?
You need to be more flexible.
I love you, but if we're gonna make this work, you gotta be more than Mr. Incredible. You know that, don't you?
So long as you both shall live,
I do.
I pronounce this couple husband and wife.
As long as we both shall live, no matter what happens.
Hey, come on. We're superheroes. What could happen?
In a stunning turn of events, a superhero is being sued for saving someone who apparently didn't want to be saved. The plaintiff, Oliver Sansweet, who was foiled in his attempted suicide by Mr. Incredible, has filed suit against the famed superhero in Superior Court.
Mr. Sansweet didn't ask to be saved. Mr. Sansweet didn't want to be saved. And the injury received from Mr. Incredible's actions, so-called, causes him daily pain.
Hey, I saved your life!
You didn't save my life, you ruined my death. That's what you
Listen,
My
you
client has
little
no further
piece.
comment at this time.
5 days later, another suit was filed by the victims of the L train accident. Incredible's court losses cost the government millions and opened the floodgates for dozens of superhero lawsuits the world over.
It is time for their secret identity to become their only identity. Time for them to join us or go away.
Under tremendous public pressure and the crushing financial burden of an ever-mounting series of lawsuits, the government quietly initiated the Superhero Relocation Program. The supers would be granted amnesty from responsibility for past actions in exchange for the promise to never again resume hero work. Where are they now? They are living among us, average citizens, average heroes, quietly and anonymously continuing to make the world a better place.
Parr.
Oh, hello. This is Helen Parr. Bob Parr is my husband. I was wondering if you could give me the number of the hotel he's staying at. The number that I have is no good.
Mr. Parr no longer works at InsureCare.
What do you mean? He's on a business trip. A company retreat.
My records say his employment was terminated almost 2 months ago.
So you don't know where he is? Would you like to find out?
Hey everyone, I'm here to talk about our new collaborator, Toink Toys. They have a wide selection of, you guessed it, toys and other great collectibles. They have products from Marvel, Star Wars, Harry Potter, and everything pop culture. You could say they put the toy in Toink. So go check them out at toink.com and use our code Different Spectrums Podcast to get 10% off your entire order today.
And we back again.
Hey, we're back and we're live. Just as live as the Vikings being 4-0. Well, let's get a round of applause.
Skull. Skull.
Skull.
Skull.
Yeah,
Skull.
that's right. Finally, 4-0 with our quarterback, Sammy D. Sam Darnold.
Said the long
right.
D, Sam Darnold.
I'm going to put my fist down for that one.
Hey, it's an exciting time, football season for a lot of us that enjoy sports, right? Basketball's getting ready to start up. All the new shows are getting ready to start up. It's a good time of the year, at least for me. I know for a lot of folks, right, life, sucks. But, for me right now, it's pretty good.
It's fine. It's okay. I'm going.
But yeah, I'll pass it back to you, Spence. Just wanted to give a shout out to Minnesota. They just keep winning, and hey, celebrate it.
Yeah, and kind of picking off of that. Shout out to Karl Anthony Towns. Just traded him to the Knicks. Although, we've had him since he was a rookie. It's been about 9 years that he's been on the team. And so I think that right now just have to give out appreciation for all the highs and lows that he's been through with this organization, as well as just overall what he's done with the community. Everybody who can say anything is that, yes, he is a great basketball player, but he's even more of a better human being. So shout out to Karl Anthony Towns. Hope nothing but the best. And, hopefully one day we get to retire your number. So,
yeah. And respect to his family too, right? We know folks forgot a lot of his family died during COVID, man. When everyone's saying, don't worry about it, not a big deal. I think he had somewhere like 7 people or 9 people die in his family. It was horrible.
Yeah, and I will say, someone who went to a lot of basketball games and got to see him, his dad is very active at the games too. Anytime if somebody wanted to get a picture, or a kid wanted to get a picture with Carl, he would help them, kind of usher them in and help them get a picture. And he would also be throwing like all the T-shirts and stuff at the game
There
too.
you go.
So shout out to both of them, and just the whole Towns family.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about accelerated grief? Because you mentioned losing so many people in a short amount of time. And
Real quick.
I know that he was pretty vocal about the impact that losing his mom had on him. And so I think that was huge as an athlete to talk about how his mental health was brought in. And he's still expected to put up double doubles like every night. That man averaged, I think, career. And separately, I think when we talk about grief, people think of losing someone, but also losing a culture and space. Like, I don't think he knew he was traded. But at least that's what's running right now.
Yep.
That he was speechless and had to make a rapid change to New York. So that's a grief process in itself. You know?
The world never stops.
I'm happy for him. At least he gets to go back home. He's from New York.
Okay.
So, at least he gets to actually be a part of a franchise, that he's grew up watching. So, even though it's sad for him to go, I'm happy for him in every other aspect and hope nothing but the best. And they got a real one there at for the Knicks.
And thankfully, it's a good team. The Knicks are a good team. So he's not going from a good team to a bad team. He's going from a good team to a good team.
He's not going to the Charlotte Hornets. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Hey, could have went to Detroit.
I didn't want to say that, but
at least the Hornets, they got it's like nice over there, a whole lot of Jesus, right? Detroit, you got nothing. You just got the poors. You got the poors and the blacks. It's horrible.
Oh my!
I'm sorry.
God damn it! I'm cutting out of that reel. And that's where I'll cut.
All right,
there we go.
Let's get into the show. Let's get into the show.
I feel like the Hornets tagline is like waiting for Jordan to come back onto the court.
I was watching some Wizards highlights of him the other day. It's fucking nuts. It's nuts.
Hey, he was balling at like 40. Let's be real. He was balling. He had that mid range down by the time he got there.
Yep.
So, all right. Anyway, let's get into the show.
Yeah.
All right. So, Daniel, welcome to the show. Nice to have you. Can you give us a little bit? How did you get into the mental health field? How'd you get here?
Oh man. So I remember my freshman, or like you have freshman orientation, just before you choose your major and your life path, right? In college. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I really didn't. I was like, hi, I'm undecided, but I felt pressure to pick something. And so they start announcing majors. They're like, biomedical sciences. And then half the room gets up. They're like, engineering. Have another, good amount of people get up. They're like, business. And I'm like, oh my God, all these people know what they want to do. I closed my eyes and I was like, if I could have any superpower, what would it be? And it was like flight. And I was like, no, that's stupid. And I was like reading minds. And then psychology got called and I stood up. So that was the official start.
Okay.
But I think I stuck with it because it was just wanting to know the power of helping people just through conversation. I felt like we were over medicated as a country at the time, and that we were taking away from talk modalities. And so I was like, well, I want to be someone that really connects with someone. And then that's what really fueled me in the beginning.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. Shit. All right. So when we talk about how just number wise, when we talk about people of color, just in the mental health field in general, it's very small. It's a very small number right now. Right. And so, have you had any type of struggles when it comes to being someone of color, and then also seeing clients that may not look like you or have maybe the same background as you? Have you had troubles in that area? And how do you kind of not combat it, but how do you kind of play with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have had people that, at least in my training space, I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to offer anything. right? Like I recognize that I am a black male, right? Like that's very obvious when you see me, or at least a person of color. But then what would that mean for someone who might identify as a woman and come in and say, I don't feel comfortable with you. And then I got to do the work of internalizing, like, is it because I'm black or is it because I'm a man? Is it because I'm a black man? And but also recognizing, they came for help. So eventually I got to that place where I'm like, oh, it's no problem. Let's find you someone to refer to. But on the flip side, I've also been like assigned to somebody during my training program that was a black male, but I felt no connection to besides us being black men. So it worked both ways. They're like, hey, this person, I'm not gonna mention anything, but like they have a rap sheet longer than a phone book. And I was like, I've never done any hard things. Like I'm chilling.
Okay.
And like there was no connection there. So I've seen it work both ways. Yeah.
We heard it here. Daniel doesn't like the poor. Daniel doesn't like the thugs. I get it. I got it. He's out here cooning. I get it. It's fine.
Oh my God.
I've since reformed my ways.
I get it. You heard it here.
He's just like, no, thank you.
He's one of the ones like, I can't vote for Trump because he's a felon. I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, not really, because you remember. I mean, all of us colors got rap sheets, so I guess you can only work with the one black guy who's not been to jail.
There's only one.
Like Daniel,
his name's Daniel.
Daniel, you've done some time. You want to be paired with? Yeah.
They definitely did that on purpose, didn't they? They definitely did. They didn't put Erica with him. They put you with him.
Yeah, they started throwing rap lyrics at me. I was like, I don't feel comfortable about this.
He put sugar in his grits. What?
Oh, sugar in his grits.
All right, I'm done interviewing.
Going down south.
Spence, you keep it moving.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try my best. So when we look at like kind of The Incredibles, what about this movie really spoke to you and really made you talk about it?
I think oftentimes we like it felt very relevant to today. It's I think released 20 years ago, so this is like the 20th anniversary, but it talks about finding your identity in terms of being a superhero, finding a balance with your real life, and then finding, I talk with my hands a lot. So it's like you have the two and they're intermeshing, they're intermingling, but where do you find your space in that? So that was like overall reaching. But then as we saw some of those clips, it really just hit home. There are a lot of parallels.
There you go. And here's it. Well, it's not going to be good when I do that. I got a question for you.
Here we go.
Out of all the movies you could have picked from, you picked the whitest movie I ever seen in my life.
It's white.
You
definitely not.
It's pretty white. It's about a white man.
Not that white.
It's about a privileged white man and his beautiful family. You couldn't pick no black movies. We had you on specifically for a black movie. You couldn't pick Roots. Something.
Roots. Why'd you want to talk about Kunta?
I just had to get that out there. Like I thought it was funny.
That's a fair question. I mean, the masks are black, so I think that would I'm playing.
Blackface, cancel him. Cancel him.
Well, and I think like it's, that's a great question. I think like people will see back and they're like, hey, his superpower was privilege. And I was like, that's a fair assessment. That's a fair argument. But I think it also has a lot of parallels to just different identities. Like if we talking X-Men, like X-Men was a metaphor for people of color. They don't know that. They might not talk about it. But, Magneto, Professor X, while they might have been portrayed as white men, we know that they were actually a representation of MLK and Malcolm X. Yep. So in a lot of ways, like black people are superheroes, and so we'll take any kind of representation we can get. And then you had that intersection of a black superhero with Frozone, but we know what they really mean.
I'm just well, he's trying to tell me that the Incredibles are actually black, Spence. That's what he's trying to tell me. That's really
This is actually a black family on welfare. You're like, what? That's not. They're in a nice neighborhood. What?
Wait a minute.
Why are you saying that, Daniel? Doctor. Doctor, why would you say that?
In no way.
One of them's named Craig. They don't have any more milk. They have to put water with the cereal, and then they're out of sugar. Like what?
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was Dan. Don't even know what to do right now, Spence. He's fucked up.
I know. I broke it.
He's glitched out. He's legit glitched out.
He's like, it's like exactly.
So
that's my point.
I knew I was going to tease you about this. I knew this would be super funny, right? And obviously we do not care what people pick. I just thought this would be funny to tease you, right? Is we don't get a lot of folks to call around. And, you know, you don't want to pigeonhole, but like, hey, you got to pick this, you got to pick that. We don't do that here. You pick whatever the fuck you want to pick. But I'm going to pivot.
Yeah.
I'm going to pivot. You said you've watched this a million times. So why have you watched this so much? Because this actually means a lot to you, and not because we've told you to pick it out for therapy stuff. Why does it actually mean something to you?
I think just watching, like, I think I'm family oriented. Like, I think I believe in like Vin Diesel, power of family. You know, like they can never lose because they got family. But also just like there are so many relatable aspects, and there's like nuances that you might miss as a teen or tween that you go back and you watch as an adult. And you're like, dang, they're like this. These messages exist, and this is like the medium didn't change, right? The movie hasn't changed over 20 years, but we do. So then you get to go back and reflect on like, well, dang, how did I grow? What is my response? What's my reaction to this? So like every time I go back and watch it, I'm like, oh man, like there's something different, or you know, what do I like about it? Like connecting to, oh yeah, that's what it feels like when I hit my stride, or trying to feel like I'm not, where does my strength lie? Because I can't do it all. And you know, what does that mean for me? Though it just normalizes a lot of feelings in a lot of ways.
As you say, Spence, I think me and you have been watching a lot of older movies, and I guess this is the moment in the podcast I would challenge everyone to go back and watch some of the stuff that you watched when you was a kid in maybe the 90s, 2000s. Check it out with like fresh eyes now. Now that we're like got grown up people problems. As we know, the demographics that watch this, most of us, right, are our age bracket, Spence, the late 20s, early 30s, right? There's a few folks that are in their 40s that watch this too. I challenge folks, go back and watch some of them old movies. See if that nostalgia is there, but see if there's any hidden lessons. I found a lot of them to be like, holy shit, they touched on this topic.
I know.
Yeah,
they do it a lot. I mean, it's so much deeper emotions back then. Like, don't get me wrong. I think there are great movies nowadays that do hit those emotions. But I mean, doing that back then in like the 90s, early 2000s, like that's pretty impressive. Like when we did Flubber and we did that scene where he's like, I don't understand people. I don't get them. Right? Like, I don't understand human beings. That hits a lot harder nowadays than it did probably back then. So it's like, you know, all these movies have great gems, especially about mental health. It's just that they weren't like just being like, this is mental health driven. You know, it's more about, it's just day to day.
Subtle.
That's just how it was.
Real life. Like we just did Angels in the Outfield, and like I had to sit Spence like, hey, we're gonna take a break for a second because I gotta like cry. Bro, don't even start.
That was great.
Don't even start, Dan. Don't even start flapping the wings. Don't even start.
Don't even do it.
Put them down. You ain't flying nowhere.
Movie's deep. That's a deep movie. Has some very like adult themed things,
Trauma,
even though it's a
race.
Disney movie. Yeah.
Everyone's going to get to see it before they see this. So that's why we're bringing it up now, because they're going to get to see it, Spence.
Yes.
All right. I'll give it back to Spence for a few more.
Yes. So maybe this is the movie, but we have a question now where do you have any other films or TV shows that you kind of use to help regulate yourself when you're feeling certain emotions? Could be The Incredibles, could be something else. Well, who knows?
I mean, if I'm feeling things, like I've gotten to a good space with journaling. I love to journal, just kind of sit and write down. But like to Naz's point earlier about like going back and watching a movie with different lens and perspective, I think another one that does that well is a Goofy movie. Like just that franchise, like
the blackest
him,
movie
like,
ever.
exactly. I had to bring it back because
I
y'all
knew
called
he
me out
was.
on Incredible. So I was like, well, you know what else I like?
You just had to make again. It's not actually blacks, but
Goofy's
it's so
black.
about,
All right, he's
you
black.
know, he can't pick nothing Spike Lee, but you picking, you know, whatever, man. I'm done with
I'm
you.
going for that intersection of like kid, like teen movie.
Yeah. You motherfucker picked the Boondocks or something, man.
The Boondocks.
That was a movie. That's a show about kids. I don't know if it's for kids.
No,
Let's talk
definitely.
about Riley for a second.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk about prison. So I'm not gonna get into that episode. That was a bad episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. So for like just the calming, do you have a go-to show or movie for calming, or is it more just the journaling, or is it music? That's what we've been asking people.
Oh yeah, definitely like huge on music. I like
more music,
lo-fi, just like chill R&B for the music side. For shows, I would definitely go to like a comedy. You know, like I think something I'm rewatching now is King of the Hill.
Oh,
like we talk about like I grew up in Texas, so like to watch some of those themes like pop up in Texas or just in King of the Hill is great. I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry. You're on the wrong.
Oh, dang it, Bobby. Yeah. Like Bob's Burgers. A lot of the animation stuff, but also like what are we watching? It is. Oh man, I want to say like just. I think like people say The Office. I like Parks and Rec.
Okay.
I think those are like good marathon shows. Schitt's Creek.
Nice.
I'm trying to think of a blacker one.
He ain't brought up a black one. Yeah, boy, I dare you.
You couldn't say like Living Single or something? Like,
Martin,
yeah, Living Single.
You know,
Martin.
Living Single. Martin.
Oh, too late now. I already said Martin.
Episodes.
Fresh Prince.
Wayne
yeah,
Bros, come on now.
You know,
Why are
good
we beating you
times.
out right now, bro? Come on now.
I got a lot of streaming services, and these don't like
No,
pop up on
they
streaming too
don't.
much.
They actually don't.
They don't.
really don't.
Real talk.
Like they're getting their money on syndicate, like repeat episodes of like old TVs that people have. Yeah. So it's like get your paper. I love the Jamie Foxx show though.
Oh, that was good back in the day.
That's a good one.
Woo.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
All right. We like to ask people, and then I'm sorry for teasing you, man. I'm not trying to, fuck with you.
Please, no.
Fine.
I'm gonna go do like a identity
You're good.
quiz myself and be like, why aren't I watching blacker show?
I
I could have said
it's
Goofy
fine.
movie.
You ain't been to the cookout in a while, but it's fine.
They rejected your card. Sorry. We're so sorry.
Bro, I'm not a good person. Yeah.
All right.
That was a
We
great
are
question.
a color gradient on his screen.
Hey. Hey. We are the full spectrum here.
I'm
Whether
gonna-
it's autism or color.
I'm going to fade him out in the post. And that is.
Be like, bye. See ya.
Yeah.
Let's into this white background.
Yep.
All right. So I also want to ask you, did you have any mentors kind of coming up in school or anything like that, or somebody that you really looked up to even in your personal life that you kind of want to give a shout out right now?
Mentors. I mean, coming out of the University of Memphis doc program, I definitely had a couple of people, like they were on my dissertation committee. So definitely Dr. Rosie Phillips Davis, like former APA president and then current, professor at U of M.
Nice.
Shout out to her. Dr. Hall, who no longer, I think he's since kind of transitioned to another space. But he, just seeing people that look like me, and there's just like a couple of professors that I could talk to, anyone that could look like me, and then also, some people on the consulting side. So I'm more doing consultation and business psychology. So I've had a couple of circles of people that I super appreciate.
We asked this question now is because we want to know. Folks of color really don't get these degrees. Serious question. We don't get these degrees without help. And so you had people help you get to where you've been, right? Or did you just do it on your own, or was it easy? That's why we're asking.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think in my cohort, this is unheard of, right? So there were 8 of us. I was the only male, but like half of us were Black.
Oh,
and so yeah, that was. I mean, it's really unheard of. And another person was a person of color. So out of our 8, you mentioned Erica. We did have people that looked like us.
That's awesome.
Or adjacent in our program. So that was helpful to be able to like commiserate on our experience of our intersecting experiences. Like we were talking about like the numbers game. I remember in my master's program, there was a book that said like, if you're reading this, there's a 75% chance you're a white woman. And I looked around like, well, that's not my experience.
Damn.
That's not my experience.
This book done made me trans. What the hell?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, like, I can't identify, like, shout out to White Chicks, another Black movie.
Yeah, I love white women, but I ain't a white woman. I love white women though. They're good people, Daniel, you got to keep talking. You got to cut me off, Daniel. You got to cut me off.
I have to mic my mute.
Dr. Daniel's having some technical difficulties. He just popped up.
We broke his brain.
He's like, no comment on the white women. I knew it. I knew it.
I felt it.
Yeah, I felt it. But no, so you did have people to help you out throughout the program. And then you were talking about this book, though. You're reading this book. What, that fuck you up, the book?
I mean, because our cohort in our master's program was about 30 people. And I was the only male of color in that group.
Okay.
So, it was a lot of navigating my own identity piece. What's that movie? Get Out hadn't come out yet. So I was like trying to figure it out. And then it came out right during my program. And I was like, oh. And then that came out at the same time as I Am Not Your Negro.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, like double dose of like, where am I? What is this program? What is the field and profession rooted in white areas and white men doing for me? And how do I adopt that? Where do I fit in?
Yep.
Freud didn't look like me. Jung didn't look like me. None of them did.
No.
And so to take on like a profession, like we were talking about, like, oh, there are things that mention mental health, but it wasn't called mental health yet. We just didn't have the term for it, but it did exist. And it was, even still today, you tell family members, hey, I do this, in psychology. They're like, oh, but what they're not saying is like, oh, you on that white shit. It's like, well, yes,
hey,
but no.
Yeah. It's weird, man, getting these degrees, being first gen, and, people are like, oh, you one of the smart ones, huh, Nas? And like, you don't want to say yes because you're like, I don't know how they're going to take it. You're going to come at me. You're going to ask me for something. Like, it's just.
Are you going to check me right now?
Yeah. Like, we've talked about the identities of me being too white, me being too hood to be with the white kids, too white to be with the brown kids, too autistic to really fit in with anyone, and then it turns out that all my friends were always neurodivergent autistic individuals because none of those intersections really mattered. Spence gives up the thumbs up, but that's when I became like, I found my people. It never.
And what is it? You're just like, oh, the latching onto diagnosing is heavy, right? We talk about neurodivergent. Everyone's on a spectrum. Like, to be average is feeling less and less like the majority.
Yeah.
But especially within the system that we exist, there's like things popping up every 3 seconds.
Yep.
It's hard to be focused when you have like market and media designed to take your attention away.
Correct.
So like we're doing the best we can.
Yep.
Doing the best we can.
Yep. It has a lot of stuff designed. I had a student, they all come in with the addictions of the screen time. And I know it's tough. Like, hell, it's been a while since I read a book. I try to read a book. I'm like 1 page in. I'm like, this is stupid.
No.
And it took me so many hours to read like 2 pages because of that phone. I'm like, let me just grab it. Let me just smell it.
That's why I appreciate your podcast and like one of the, I guess, values you all have in terms of like approaching people from different perspectives and genres. So like we want the visual, we want the audio, probably like suggesting some things people can do with their hands, but like respecting that people are different learners.
Yep.
Right. Because like I have also struggled with like some of the books and like sitting down and forcing myself to read this,
Okay.
trying to like, and I think like schooling reinforces that, right? We need a standard that everyone to do these readings, that you find them. And it's like, if we had more school modalities that like catered to different styles of learning, you
better.
would start to see more diversity. Yeah, for sure.
Instead of suffocating everyone. I'm gonna pivot real quick.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you about something. Maybe Spence was gonna get to it because we just found out about it. So you said you were doing this comedy thing. So how the hell, you're not neurotypical if you did any comedy or improv. Like that's not a normal person. So like, I'm not saying you're autistic, not gonna say that, but like you gotta be different to do that.
I'm not saying it, but
if it quacks like a duck, it looks like Donald Trump, it's probably a duck,
Right.
But for real though, like, so what pushed you into that, being that funny guy? Are you just like a normally always been a funny guy? Do you think fast? Tell us, are you good at mimicking? What's the vibe?
Oh, great questions, man. I really think it, one is like early on, it's like trauma response, right? It's like you feeling like you have to keep the peace.
Oh man, you couldn't come with something more happy than that shit.
My house was sad, and so I had to laugh.
I'm all jokes aside,
But
mind formed from that too. Continue to go. I'm sorry.
Yes. Like the given theater masks, like happy and sad.
Yeah.
I would just look over to the sad one. Like, Daniel, what's going on? Nah, that's a joke. But like, I think it just started early on. Like I look at my life experiences and I find them just applicable in a humorous way. It's like there are a lot that weren't funny in the moment, but like when I look back, I'm like, you know what? There's something to be learned from that. Because you talk about the 3 different theories of humor. There's like superior, so you're putting others down, it's frowned upon. You have incongruity, which is like the life that we're living right now. Like you can point out so many incongruities to like how we live and what is expected of us, that a response is humor. It's humor. It's because this incongruity exists. And the other one is relief. So it's like, we know that there are physical responses that when you're laughing, it's like it increases your heart rate, like increases your lung capacity. It releases like those good feel neurotransmitters. It's like, okay, so if this is a force for good, let me continue to tap into it. Now that was like adult me. As a child, I was like just goofy. I was goofy, and I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's just like I had goofy parents.
Okay.
Shout out to them.
Yeah. Okay.
But do you think you developed it though because you had to be the goofy person to make sure that others were like safe or happy around you because things were weird when you were a kid, or no?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot recently. I think it really is a mix of both. It is like a people pleasing piece of like, if people are laughing with me, they're not laughing at me. So it's like a part to fit in. Like if I'm the funny guy, then that is also part of my identity, and it's not the worst identity. Like granted, you start doing some of that shadow work and it's like, dang, this will take a lot of energy to make sure that y'all are okay and I'm not okay. So then you start to maybe shift into like, what makes me laugh? I did some dissertation research. I don't remember if I sent that to y'all, but I was like, what is the role of humor? My dissertation was when you are experiencing a racial microaggression, what does that say about your sense of choice in work? So like, Black people don't do this thing, y'all don't stray that. And how do you use humor to buffer that? So like you could like use humor to better yourself. You could use humor to be like, okay, we have this thing in common, so you still fit in. You could use humor to be aggressive and be like, hey, you know what, like we gonna start checking yourself. Like, I didn't know I could make it in. I didn't know those pants would fit in, but you here. And like, I'm here too. So you could go to checking somebody, or you could continue to like berate yourself, but like in a kind of humorous way.
Correct.
Like whatever your humor response is. So that was my research with Black men, and it's good stuff.
Interesting. It Spence, because I was throwing microaggression left and right at Daniel today, right? You're just taking it.
Really macro? I say macro.
Yeah, I say pretty macro.
I say pretty macro.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You learn how to read, boy? Like, what? Jesus Christ.
What year is this?
I don't know.
What
It's
state are
whatever
we
year
in?
Trump wants it to be. I tell you that. This shit's getting crazy these days, man. I'm
The
sorry. I feel
Denzel on my copy of Training Day just like shed a tear. I'm looking at it.
the one black movie he's got. Okay.
Yeah.
He's Googling.
All you bitches.
Just surrounded by Seventh Heaven season. So
Oh my
Seventh Heaven.
you're such a white woman. Like
Everybody
that,
but the dad was cool in that
yeah.
show.
That book was right when you read it, Daniel. If you're reading this, you're a middle-aged white woman.
and I said, I too feel like I have been microaggressed in this moment.
As you have your sweater and glasses tilted down, you're just
My
this is me.
PSL in hand. I was like, damn, I don't like how
With your Amazon Kindle, you're just like, yes, this is.
Damn.
I'm offended.
Oh my God.
Okay. Thank you for picking.
Disclaimer: we love white women.
No,
and everything that they
we love
bring in.
everybody in this pod. We love all the people on this pod.
We just turned off like half of our podcast.
These have, well, I never turned them
Yeah,
on,
well-
so they could be, how can they be turned
my
off?
Once we edit, it's just like the clips and like, hey, and then it's like, well, that was the shortest episode.
Yeah, all of this is cut.
All is good. No, man. So I do apologize for some of the stuff and microaggressions, but I knew you could take it because of the humor and the comedy, right? And obviously, I love the identities. I love what you're bringing, but I'm trying to bring out something that many of us have to go through. I'm making these jokes about race, about being in these white spaces, about getting these degrees because it's not done. And many of the folks may not be people of color on the pod. We know it's a lot of women that listen on the pod. Also, some of these spaces are not meant for them. When they get into the work in the upper echelons of field of therapy, it might not be for them. Maybe they'll be the workers, but they won't be the bosses. We know the statistic is going to be white dudes. And so to feel othered is a very common thing with neurodivergent folks. Very common thing for anyone who's really oppressed and marginalized. And so I wanted to navigate that with humor. And then Spencer brought it in. Who were the mentors? What were the things that you do to cope and to soothe yourself? Because this is what people want to know. How is someone that fucking made it, which is you? How did you do it? And so we have you on the pod to talk and have some fun, right, about the Incredibles. How'd you do it though? So that's why I'm making the funny jokes, but then also like it's a blessing to talk to you today.
Yes.
100%, man. No, I appreciate the balance. This is what it's about for sure. Like, to people of color, people who are feeling marginalized, oppressed, neurodivergent, people or people with those diagnoses, diagnosed or undiagnosed.
Yep.
We've been making it work into systems that weren't meant for us since the beginning. So we've had to find any way we can. Like, if you find just the incongruity, because we're faced with the incongruities every day. And so you have a choice to get angry, or you can laugh, or a bit of both. So this ain't nothing new.
My clients,
nothing new.
Clients tell me that every day. They're like, Nas, you gotta laugh, man. I don't feel like crying today. I said, okay, we'll laugh. I normally end up making them cry at the end of the session because I'm like, hey man, we gotta talk about some real emotions too. We can't just be bullshit.
Right.
Spence, I used the clip a couple times this week, and then we'll pivot to Spencer's last question into the show. But that Persian version, that's been stuck in my mind. That what she says, the mom, she said, I learned silence at that moment because silence is safety. If I didn't talk about it, it wasn't real. I didn't have to feel it. And that seemed fuck with me. And so I was talking to some of my clients, right? Men today, black and brown men today on a Saturday. And I seen some of them break. First time I've ever seen them break emotionally. And I'm like, holy shit. And they go, Nas, I ain't never been this emotional in front of no one my whole life. I said, thank you. respect, and I take it as an honor and a privilege, right? And so, we're taught, so many of us, to hold it in, right? And it's just tough. A lot of us are masking all day, every day, whether you're code switching because of your color, maybe your queer status. As we know, autistic folks on here, it's just tough. And so we get silent. Some of us do what me and Daniel do and Spencer do, is we become the clown. Right? We become the clown because it's a safety thing. I talked to a client today. It's a hypervigilance thing. If I make you laugh, I know you're not going to kill me. I make you laugh, I know you're not going to beat me. I make you laugh, I know that I can maneuver my way and leave the situation without you grabbing me. So we learn these things, and it's sad, but smart kids learn these things because we learn to navigate the world. It was interesting conversation, Spence, and then right, these movies we watch, they fuck with me, Spence. I'm in there with therapy, and so hopefully people are thinking of that as we go into these scenes, right? And we start talking about them. Keep them in your mind, folks. Remember to bring them up. If it brings up any emotions, like Daniel said, talk about them with your therapist, talk about them with your loved ones and your friends, your homies, right? Talk about them. Because, right, Daniel's getting ready to break down some really cool shit here in a minute. All right, Spence.
All right. I think that's actually a good point to actually get into the scene.
Okay.
Let's do it. So the first scene that we have is actually the beginning of the movie, where we get to see a young Mr. Incredible, and he is saving the day.
He good looking.
He is. All right.
That's a good looking white man right there, right now.
He's saving the day, and he's doing it on multiple fronts, right? He's saving a cat from a tree. He's also helping the cops catch burglars. He's also helping people who are throwing themselves off buildings, saving them. And then also just trying to help his little young ward just to go home so he doesn't get hurt. And through all of that mess, he actually does get in trouble on multiple fronts, right? So whether it's trying to help save a young buddy, or trying to help someone who is attempting to take their own life by jumping off a building, whether it's trying to help protect the train from being crashed and having, hundreds of people die. And then he also gets in trouble with his soon-to-be wife for being late for saving all of these people, right? Multiple fronts where he has a lot of responsibilities, and somehow he comes out short in the end. And then we find out that this causes legislation to take place where heroes can no longer be heroes. Now they have to be, quote unquote, normal and be part of society. So gross, I know. So Daniel, what about this beginning scene did you really want to touch on, especially since you kind of want to talk about identities, but what specifically did you want to talk about for this first scene?
Well, Spencer, I gotta say, you summarized it real well. We are well, because the first thing you're introduced to when you're watching the movie is them being asked about finding a balance between their superhero life and their personal life. They say, do you let people into your personal life? Do people know who you are? They say, oh, no, because I'm too busy being a superhero and I, can't have people. I don't have time for a personal life. And then you literally see everything that is expected of these superheroes in like the first 5 minutes. And it's like, oh, because he's a superhero, he's expected to do all these things.
Yep.
But in actuality, we as people are expected to do multitask all the things all the time. Like you call ADHD, like that's a superhero power because you're expected to hold multiple things at once and do all these things. And for some people, it is their superpower, but then you are labeled as such as like that's othering. It's not normal, but you also want me to do it. There's an expectation of Mr. Incredible that he saves the cat, that he stops the robbers, that he saves someone's life as they're trying to make an attempt on it, and also get married. And he's expected to do all of that because he's Mr. Incredible. And so that is just like, who can relate? Who's trying to do all the things, and they're like, oh man, like I still got time. I still have time to do these things. I still have time to do that. And to still feel at the end like you're still questioning why you did it, if you got to complete it, and did it bring you a sense of feeling? Did you do it correctly? And you even see the police depicted here. They're like, you didn't stop the other guy. Like, oh, thank you again, Mr. Incredible, but they also gave the same energy. Like, you didn't stop him. And so it's like, how can we hold all of that? How can we continue to hold that? Is it realistic? Nah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and can I also ask this? Do you see, and Naz, this is for you too, for people who are in the mental health field, you're helping people all the time to help save their lives on a daily basis. Do you kind of see yourselves not as just superheroes, but people who are protectors of those around you, and that sometimes you're not really given the accolades. You are seen to be doing more and more. You have to do more in order to help people kind of, get along with their day-to-days. Do you kind of see yourself in that kind of Mr. Incredible role?
Yes, for me. Right, because you have a lot of responsibility, doing a lot of stuff as a social worker, doing a lot of stuff. I'm not just in there doing therapy. I'm getting resources, connecting people, meds. I'm calling parents. I'm writing letters to the school. I'm doing a lot of stuff. But I'm gonna do a little pivot, Spence. I don't think you need to be in a caring profession to be one of these superheroes. As I tell my student the other day, I said, you saved someone's life. You don't even know you did it, and you did it. I said, thank you. As I told a student the other day when we were in group, I said, you affirmed someone in therapy, right? And you helped out my friend. Could have just saved her life by making her actually feel good. First time someone's actually made her feel good. You know how awesome that is? So maybe you're not the smartest or this or that, but you did something really good right there. And because of that heart of yours, you're a hero. So Spence, I believe that we can all be heroes. And I believe that we're all super busy and we're all overwhelmed. And we all feel like shit. None of us are really sleeping that good. And we're all burned out. The superheroes are the people that don't allow themselves to become depressed and miserable, become assholes, to become violent. Hey, maybe you mess up. God knows I've messed up and been violent. But it's the ones that don't allow their entire personality to be shifted. So Spence, yeah, I see myself as one of these superheroes, but I see a lot of other regular motherfuckers being heroes too. I try to make my clients know that you're the hero of your story. No. I'm a side character. How the fuck you a side character in your own story? How are you a side piece in your own story? You can't be the side piece.
You can't be a side piece when you fantasize.
You the full piece. What's the difference of a side piece? Main chick? I say main chick. Whatever. I was real serious and then I lost it. Sorry, Spence. But we can all be heroes, man. And we got to start remembering that we're the hero of our own story. And sometimes you need someone like Daniel was talking about to help you navigate it. Maybe these mentors, maybe loved ones, maybe friends. It's tough though, man. It's tough to be navigating your own story, man, because it's just a lot. And for a lot of people listening, it becomes overwhelming and then you're burned out. Because life ain't easy for most of us. You listen to this podcast, life ain't been easy. You listen to this podcast, you listen to this for either to laugh or because you felt incongruent listening to other podcasts and you're like, these fucking guys get it. Last thing I'm going to pivot. We got a random email today, Spence. You see that email?
We've gotten a few, but I think I know which one you're
This one was like, not the God one. The one that was like, I need your help, man.
I thought you were talking about that
I'm
one.
like G-Eazy or something like that. And they said they listen to the pod. I'm like,
oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that one.
That one was super cool as shit. I'm like, I don't know fully how to help you, but this is cool ass fucking email.
I know, but they're also like, God told me. And I was like, uh-oh, that doesn't usually end well.
Yeah.
You know.
That was cool.
Can I have
email.
some change too?
I thought it was a cool email. So man, I'll reply back with some stuff. I don't know how to fully help them because shit, we're not even famous, but whatever. I don't know. We're making impacts. We've had people leave us wonderful DMs, and I think it's about just helping, Spence. Superheroes just help normal people. I'll let Daniel go. Are you a hero? The answer is yes, FYI.
And I think that's a great point. I love what you said, Nas, about anybody could be a hero. Like you see the doctor in front of my name, you see the doctor in front of Nas' name, but that's not a requirement to be a hero, right? It's like choosing an action that just ultimately leads to doing good, right? Like you just ask yourself for a second, like, is this for the better good of like myself, for my friends, my family, for the world? Then you're doing heroic acts, right? I think like what I try to tell people is that you can't pour from an empty cup. I tell a lot of clients that, patients, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you trying to pour into other people, pour into other people, but you have nothing to pour. You're pouring from a deficit. Like that's rough. That will burn you out quicker than anything else. So like, I think a lot of times we're taught in this, like any kind of helping profession, at least, like that's the thing. But any kind of onus to ourselves or helping ourselves, that's on our own time. You don't see a lot of programs saying, hey, and today, this week, we're going to talk about taking care of yourself. Your assignment is to like, sit in a bubble bath and then like just relax, turn off the phone, airplane mode, just relax. That is expected to be on your own time outside of work, outside of school, you name it. So like, how do we do that? How do we learn how to do that? And then how do we champion like a world that says, okay, take care of yourself before taking care of others? If you've been on a plane, one of the first things they tell you is, in the case of an emergency, put your mask on and then tend to others. Then tend to others, right? So why is this any different? You should be able to we should really champion and normalize taking care of ourselves before we take care of others. And if those other people really like care for you, then they will understand, oh yeah, no, please make sure you're good because I will be here,
But Daniel, you got responsibilities. You got to see these 7 clients, and then you got bills, and you got to go home to your family, and you ain't got time to be reading no comics or putting together no fucking Legos. And you shouldn't be sleeping either. You got responsibilities, Daniel. So if you think that you're sleeping, you're a privileged son of a bitch.
Well, and that's where the laughter comes in, because what's realistic? It's incongruent. Like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to have time. Daniel, I hear what you're saying. Take care of myself, but between taking care of my family, going to work, making sure like basic hygiene, if I'm good there.
Yeah, it's tough to take showers these days.
Yeah. I'm glad this is a video call because y'all don't want to be in my room right now. But like,
what we doing in there?
Yeah, it's just crop dusted. The whole living room is like a farmer looking out to his.
Crop dusted means farting to me. So it's just a cloud of fart.
That's 100%. What it is for everybody.
Okay. I don't know how to respond. I've failure.
Yes, to the viewers at home, my living room smells like farts, and I have kept a straight face through this interview.
I don't. Where do we go?
He doesn't know where to
Spencer, take the lead. I'm just going to show my Lego that I made today.
Yep, you just show the green
goblin.
There he is.
Look at that ass. Yeah.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
That's what I tell people when I'm trying to go on dates. I'm something of a doctor myself,
They're just like, sure, buddy, and then they leave.
Pops up with the Lego on the desk. They're like, you know what time it is.
Jesus. All right. So, moving on.
Good question, though, Spence. Thanks. Sorry.
Yes. Of course. So we're also going to be talking about this topic of the perception of heroes, right? So we talked about heroes. We talked about how we all can be heroes, but how much is enough? How much is really enough? And like Daniel was saying, we need to have time for ourselves, but when do we finally find out that we have done enough for this world? Or is it never enough? Are we, like you said, we keep on pouring? Do we keep on pouring forever until we just eventually evaporate into nothing? What's the deal here?
Daniel, I'm let you go. But when you first brought this up in the pre-production is what is work-life balance? And I think for people that are autistic or neurodivergent, we get lost in the sauce. So if you could help some of us, like with Spencer's guidance, when they keep that in mind, a lot of us are overworkers, and a lot of us will get a lot of shit done, and then they'll give us more because we get it all done. So any advice for us, like with Spencer's question, but advice specifically for folks that are neurodivergent?
Less. What really comes to mind are SMART goals, right? I'm sure you've talked about them, like specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time oriented. So I would set yourself up for a win just by saying, what's a realistic goal? What are three things I can do today? And if I hit these three things, that's a win, right? Start there, because when you say I have 21 things on my list and I should be able to get them done, is what happens is all or nothing thinking catches us. Because I didn't do all 21, because I didn't complete the list, I failed. But if you shorten that list and then start to create, so that's one. Let me stop there.
Okay.
A second thing I would say is creating a culture of tiny wins. Right. So that was something that came out of our program. I can't remember who said it, but it was like celebrating the work that you have done, giving yourself just a little pat on the back of like, hey, you know what? I did do 2 or 3 things today. And then just getting in the practice habit of celebrating yourself. And you get to decide what that is.
Okay.
How you celebrate yourself. It could be like acknowledging it, starting with acknowledgement that you did do something. That can help us break out of that all or nothing thinking, or saying, if I don't do all 20 things, then something bad is going to happen. Okay, well, let's cut that in half. If you do 10 things, like maybe you can't say, Daniel, I can't do 3. That's too little. Okay, just shorten it then. Doesn't have to be 20. It could be 10. Doesn't have to be 10. It could be 5.
Okay.
Something that's realistic in the time zone, so that you are in like kind of switching the brain into like, okay, I did do something, because we could be our harshest critics.
What would you say for, like Spencer was saying, this over working, this work-life balance? How would you advise folks to maybe either pull back or to advocate for maybe there's too much being put on them, too much pressure, whether it be by family, whether it be by maybe work, because a lot of us face it in work. So what does advocating look like, and or how do we set the limits for ourselves? Like, hey, Katie, it's I've done enough.
That's such a great question. I would say we're getting into like power and advocacy for myself. You mentioned that something that neurodivergent people get the short end of is like, we're really good doers, but we are rewarded with more work. And I know that has been the case for several of my clients. Is like, we're really good doers, you're just giving me more work. One is like, if you feel comfortable talking to your boss, or you're within your group about it, if there's like a trusted friend or that you can talk to through like however y'all talk, I think that can be helpful. Is to just bring awareness to it. Like, hey, I've done a lot today. And I just want that acknowledged or recognized in some way, because then it, again, right, we were talking about how oppressed people are just kind of playing to a system. And the system says, however many widgets you get done is good. Keep doing more widgets. So it's like, dang, is this a feasible system? Are you just squeezing me like the lemon and then throwing me once I'm done? Like, no, I deserve some breaks. Like, I know for some people, like, you're given scheduled breaks. I think per law, like, you have to have some breaks. And if not, then that's a larger discussion, right? That's looking a little union, you know? But, you know, just advocating for yourself, like, it really starts there. Where is my voice? How much of a voice do I feel like I have in this moment? If I don't feel like I have a voice, why is that?
Okay. I'm going to add on top of that, and then we can keep it moving, is for a lot of the women that I work with, they are getting heavier loads than some of the dudes. And I'm not going to lie, the statistics show this, but it's been very true in my clients. You know, I have a different set of clients, but it's true. They're getting underpaid compared to the male counterparts. And you put ethnicity on it, then you put gender on it, it's a thing. People say it's not a thing. Statistics show it's a thing. And in my personal outlet, what I've seen, it is a thing. And so I've had with my clients is, how do we bring this up, Spence? You know, we go into the meetings for our yearly review. Hey, look at what I'm doing. Boom, 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 boom. Also, I've been able to see our compensation and been able to talk to Gregory. I feel like I have worth at least this much or equal to Gregory or more than Gregory based on my output. So I like my clients, especially my ones that are neurodivergent autistic, come with data. You don't come with just a complaint. You come with data. You come with numbers. You come with figures. And then we're like, hey, we're going to have a structured conversation with statistics. Rub my name out and my gender out. Let's look at statistics. I'm producing a lot. Me and Spencer, right? Spencer just had to make me calm down before I chucked someone out the window the other day because they said I needed to do more work. It's like, and I told a couple of my coworkers and they said, you more work? It's laughable.
Yeah.
It's laughable. They said, well, you moved your, some things around. You're covering up things. And I said, I moved my lunch to 10 a.m. so I could see clients at 11, 12, and 1. Fuck you talking about? It's interesting on how we get the people that do the most work to do more work. Yeah. So thank you.
Talk about systemic. Yep. I mean, this is what we've been doing for centuries. They're like, who could do more? Oh, no, you just have such a work ethic that of course we're going to give you more work because we know you're going to get it done and it's going to be done. And that's why we champion you. Oh, okay, let's talk about my raise. Like, whoa. There's that sense of humor too. Like,
you're one of those funny coloreds, Nas.
Oh, you're a hoot.
You're a hoot. You're one of the good ones, you nigger. What? I'm not even black.
I'm Polynesian, damn it. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm actually white.
It's just a really good tan.
Yeah,
really
I know.
good
I got the Cheeto dust down.
Oh, my God.
And like earlier you hit on like we're supposed to hide our emotions well because that's safety. We're not allowed to be emotive because I mean the data is showing when we are, it's harmful to our being. But there was it was like I want to say an old Looney Tunes cartoon where he said, I think it was Bugs Bunny, he goes, oh, that's a hoot, that's a barrel of laughs. And I can't remember what the context is. I've Googled it, but like when you look up a barrel of laughs, like they actually had barrels for Black people to laugh into because they found it too much to hear on whatever space or plantation. Look that up. That's something.
Holy shit.
Barrel of laughs. You've heard the expression, and it's like it has racial connotations.
God damn. Ruined everything.
This ain't nothing, dude.
They done poisoned the water so bad for us, man. Just love and respect to everyone who's going through it at work, that's getting overworked by family, that's getting pushed over, that's getting the boundaries pushed. Just love. Spence, thanks for bringing this question up, man. Just love. This is a tough question to overwork, and Spence, it's really tough.
Yeah. Also, to add on to a little bit,
Spence.
Found this out. Oh, love! What the hell?
How did
so much love.
We said love
room.
in the. What just happened? His computer shut up.
Did you press something? What the hell? Oh, thank God.
Oh, he did something.
Yeah, he pressed it. He didn't. It wasn't us. It wasn't us. We didn't just say love and just like
Am I magic now? Right. Is this what they call the magic stick?
Oh. God damn it. Always goes to the magic stick. All right. Anyway, just so everybody knows too, at least at Minnesota, it is not illegal to actually ask your coworkers what they're paid. Just found that out. So if any of your employers ever say that to you, not true at all. Ask your coworkers how much are they getting paid, so that then you can find that out, and then you can get paid about the same if you're doing the same job. So
good point, Spence. Thank you. It's not illegal in Indiana either, even though our boss was trying to tell people it was.
There you go.
One of our coworkers looked it up and was like, here's the law. Stop.
Yep. They always try to pull that little card on you, and not true. So
not true.
Ask your coworkers how much they're getting paid. So
equity and equality. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, the great scene. There's so much to talk about in this scene. I remember you talked about him being imperfect in the beginning of it and fumbling around with his microphone, all that goofy stuff. So you really like that he was imperfect. I just wanted to say that real quick before we go into the next scene, is that you love them because they are flawed and just normal human beings, and it's magnificent to see. Just wanted to talk about that real
100%.
quick. Sorry.
No, you're good. All right. Second scene. So, after years and years of working for an insurance company and not being a hero anymore, we see that Mr. Incredible is pretty depressed. Not gonna lie to you, pretty depressed, pretty sad, pretty empty inside. And so him and Frozone actually do like these they become like these vigilantes, and they do like random, you know, hero stuff on the side so that nobody knows. Um, and then one day they get a call, or at least Mr. Incredible does, by this woman named Mirage. And so she has opportunity for him to go to this island to get paid, and then also he can be a hero at the same time. And so during this scene, he is training to actually be in shape because he found out that he's not in the best of shape. His back hurts, but doesn't anymore after the robot that he fights, you know, cracked it for him. But anyways, he's finally figuring out like, hey, I'm actually being a hero again. I'm actually doing the thing that I really love. I love doing. I'm not empty anymore. I actually am fulfilled currently. And for him, it's happy for him, but then also that is translating to his family, who are also feeling the happiness that he is feeling. And even though they don't know why he's being so happy and why he has like a new car and shit, it's
because he's fucking someone on the side. Let's be honest.
You know, a little mistress on the side.
A little chocolate delight, you know. A little dessert, you know.
They gotta be chocolate. Why?
I know.
It's just sick. But anyways, so now he's getting in shape. He's feeling good. He's working out. He's finally in the headspace they wasn't just like a few months ago. So, Daniel, what made you want to do this scene, and how can you kind of relate back to it?
I think for me, it's like intrinsic motivation. You are getting connected to what you value. And like you said earlier, his sense of hero work and being a hero, like something that tied to his identity. So when we're really finding that stride, that's when we notice the upbeat music come into play in our lives. We notice like we're crushing it on the home front. We're getting into shape. We're doing all those pieces that are like associated with our health. We see it working. And so I really wanted to highlight like when people feel like they're doing good work, when they feel like they are doing work that aligns with their values, it can feel like that. Like, and on the flip side, when you're not doing work that's aligned with you, that's when you might feel slumped. You might feel depressed. You might feel more burnout. So then it might not be like, oh, you know, I got to check this, and that going on with my physical health. It could be a mismatch with your work values.
For folks that are autistic or maybe neurodivergent, so some of very specific things is you see him playing with his children. You see him kissing his wife. You see the intimacy increase with his wife. This is why I joke with Daniel. I said, well, why'd you show this scene? Just because he fucking? I mean, Daniel, Daniel getting it out. Daniel's a plumber in the side business, you know.
What the fuck?
Because he laying
it.
He laying
I knew it.
And so, you talk to clients and anyone, humans, your friends, you see it in your parents, when something is incongruent, Spence, and it's sucking at work, it affects their love and relationship with their children. Maybe they'll be neglectful, maybe a little bit more hostile, maybe they'll be just tired and go take a nap right after work. Maybe they're drinking a little bit more. Maybe they don't have time to help you with your homework. Maybe they don't have time to just let you ramble because they've already heard someone yell at them the whole day. Why they want to hear you. Maybe you'll see some fights and some incongruency with the emotional intimacy with their partner. Doesn't matter what gender, but with their partner. Maybe they don't want to listen to the other person. maybe you will see a decline in sex. But you're going to see some of these things. And so you see that when he's kissing his wife and she's happy, he's happy. I mean, come on, man. It's awesome. She doesn't want him to leave work so they can, do the thing. I mean, that's awesome. After kids and bills and they can't even be heroes. I mean, that's awesome. So when he starts feeling better, he starts treating his family better, and thus the family works better. I mean, come on. Sad thing is he's lying to his wife and he's like sneaking out and doing superhero shit. So I mean, technically, whatever. But Daniel's making a point is identify when you're feeling like trash. We need to maybe start doing some things that make us feel better in life, that make us feel more congruent, more meaning, more purpose. Doesn't whatever. I'm not talking about economics and the money of it. Things that make us feel better. And then maybe it'll impact the rest of our life, the rest of the people in our lives. So it's a very good metaphor, Spence, for what it looks like when you're hitting your stride, right? And as a therapist, it's awesome to see it play out within a couple months, maybe a couple weeks when they're here and they're miserable and they're in hell. And then when they're here and like they're doing good and they're not on a break anymore, things are getting better, right? Intimacy's getting better. All of it's getting better. And you're like, fuck yeah, man. I knew we could make it. The dualities of some bitch, boy. I tell you. I mean, Spence, right? You've been at some of these jobs and you're like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah. I really have.
And then you transfer and you're like, all right, I can make this work. And then, it just, again, life is tough. Identify when you're feeling like shit. Start making some small changes. Like Daniel said, make some objective goals. Me and Spencer talk about all the time when we're fixing our resumes, applying for jobs, prepping for interviews, little things, chip away at it. Because when you're neurodivergent, there's too much shit that's on your mind. I'm going to do this, and this. No, let's sit your ass down. Do one thing. Squirrel. No.
I can get it.
We doing resume and we need it done by the end of the week so we can apply for jobs next week. All right, real quick. Daniel,
Yes.
Here it comes.
I mean, are you at, no, real talk, are you at the happy phase in life or are you at the burnout phase? Are you Mr. Incredible right now, feeling good? You're having fun? Or are you actually on the other side where like life is actually sucks? Kind of hard. Sorry if this is
punch your boss.
Well, I will say it's never something that like just clicks. I know some people say like, when do I get there? I just want to complete the thing. And it really, it's waves. It's just waves. So I will say I'm doing real well per finding work that aligns with my value and my purpose. And I'm in a fortunate space that has brought financial stability. I know that's not the case for everyone.
That's awesome.
So I will acknowledge that I am finding a groove that doing work that fulfills me. Because I've been on the other side of that, where it's like, this doesn't fulfill me. I regret going into work. I bring that home. And then like my partner's like, well, I understand you're not happy. And I'm like, I have to do this for us. And so it becomes like another thing to add to the list. But right now, recently, since I've decided to pursue it, and I've been fortunate, I've been lucky to find that it brings me on an upswing, at least in the work side.
Well,
yeah.
So what made you finally push though to change, man? Well, was it you were miserable? Was it your partner's like, hey, should have got off the pot. I'm leaving you if you suck. You're not even, the pipe. Christ. You're not laying the wood like you used to.
Laying the wood. It's like a twig.
Yeah. Half mast.
Half mast. Jesus. It's still more mast than me.
No, I think it is like we're looking for, ways that we know that we're not ourselves. Because we will sometimes switch on the autopilot and just keep moving until we crash. But for me, I'm very fortunate to have so my wife also identifies as neurodivergent, and has been diagnosed and said Daniel, you're just not yourself. I recognize that this is not making you happy.
That's awesome.
So that was spousal support of okay, this is the energy. Like, I don't want to bring this home. I don't want to bring this moving forward. There's only so much life to live that I don't want to continue to spend time getting into things that are avoidant or fearful, but rather align with my values. And so it was a hard switch, but I'm doing it.
I'm
doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're trying to figure it out. Hey, everyone's trying to figure it out, man. Oh, wait a minute.
100%.
Did you say doing it and doing it on purpose?
Doing it and
He
doing
did.
it and doing it again.
I get it in, Doctor. No,
you know, we happy in this we happy in this house.
My wife, I apologize. I
know.
I got dishes.
I
got dishes.
You're gonna have to go to church after this now. You know
we praying after this.
Jesus. You need them. Well, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Good.
It was something
that's good.
Oh no, here it is.
There it is.
For partners, for those of us that are, if you think that your partner is really in a slump, it's not disrespectful. It's not mean. You're not shaming them. You're like, hey, bring it up. I've noticed some things. I noticed you're not sleeping well. I noticed you're not talking. I noticed you're avoiding your friends. You're not even playing video games. You're not buying Legos, whatever it is. I noticed that you're not even watching. You don't smile anymore. I noticed maybe you're starting to drink some more. So it's not disrespectful. Please, please, please advocate for your friends and your loved ones. If they get mad at you and they tell you to fuck off and they don't talk to you, that's on them. I'm giving you permission now as a neurodivergent individual, an individual that's just a good human, to push the button. I'd rather you push the button than them suffer even more and then possibly do something that they'll regret that's permanent for a temporary situation. Right? We don't want to do anything permanent. So please, don't be the therapist, but hey, I noticed some things. And then tell them, hey, there's good people to go talk to. Just wanted to mention that to Daniel. Awesome. I'm very lucky. You're very lucky, sorry, to have someone wonderful to be like, yo, man, what are we doing? What are we doing?
100%.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, what's the next scene, Spence?
All right. So in this next scene, what's his name? Psylocke? No, it's not Psylocke. I keep mixing that up with somebody else.
It's X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, I know that name somewhere. But the big bad of the Incredibles. Syndrome. There it is. Syndrome. Syndrome. As we know, Buddy came to be a villain after he got rejected by Mr. Incredible. Then Mr. Incredible fakes his death. He thinks he's dead. And so now he snuck back into the island and he went to go check to see what the dastardly plan is from Syndrome. So he goes to this big computer and he finds out that most of his friends, also other heroes, have been killed because they got the same offer from Syndrome to actually fight this robot, and this robot has been a test to see just how good it can actually be. And so it went through different tests with different heroes. They pretty much all got murdered. Besides Mr. Incredible, he was the only one who didn't die. And so we have this scene where he's also checking up to see if they know the identity or location of his wife, and then also Frozone, right? And so after he finds that out, then we also have this other scene that's going on where Mrs. Incredible is worried about her husband because he's been saying this whole time that he's been at like a conference and shit like that, but it's not the case at all. And then they have the homing beacon that goes off, and that sets off the whole alarms, and then he gets caught. Pretty much the scene all wrapped up in there. But so for this scene, we really, really wanted to touch on just this thing of accelerated grief, right? Daniel, could you talk to us? What is accelerated grief? What does that mean, and how does that fit the scene?
What they did? What they do? What did Dane do?
What they doing? What they doing there? Well, so in that scene, right? You find out throughout the movie that he has not kept in contact with some of his old superhero contacts, with the exception of Frozone and Elastigirl. And so he's wondering what's happened to them. He finds out really quickly and in a very short amount of time that they have been eliminated. They've been eliminated, they have died. And his first thing, the whole clip itself is maybe 15 seconds of watching his friends have passed. And we talked about it earlier, but if you go back and look at his wedding scene, some of these people were at his wedding, so they knew that he was a superhero. They knew his personal identity. They knew all of that. So this really gets at the core of his loss. And what he does since then is like he has to spring back into action. He has no time to grieve. He has no time to sit with the impact of what's happened. But he just like kind of compartmentalizes and keeps going. And it's just, I feel like it really speaks to a time that we all have experienced a lot of change recently, but there's no space that we leave ourselves to process it.
I think life like that does that to us, Daniel. It's the next play. It's the next thing. You got to go to work. People don't have time off, and maybe you'll get a couple days, right? I mean, I get like 2 days off if someone passes. 5 days if it's like your direct family, and then after that you got to take PTO or sick time. So it's like, it's all about,
isn't that shitty? that's a shitty system.
Yeah.
Keep on producing.
Keep on producing, bro. So that's why I like what you were talking about is I didn't even think about the grief thing. And then you add on like other marginalized identities, or you add on just being poor, struggling, or just middle class, just trying to make it. And as we know, 70% of Americans live check to check. So it didn't matter who the fuck you are, even if you're middle class. Those of you, go talk to your parents. They live in check to check, right? You got the nice car, you in college and shit. Your mom and dad freaking the fuck out, right? Someone gets sick, they might lose their house.
Back in my day, ramen was like 25 cents, and now it's $2. $2 for ramen.
Jesus Christ!
One pack.
Yeah,
not the 20 pack. One pack.
It's
$50 for that 20 pack,
bro. It's hard out there, man. I remember playing basketball with like Spencer, and I even at St. Mary's, I was like, bro, if I get hurt, I'm fucked. Like, how am I going to get to work? Like, I freak out about the shit. Spence was going to lose his job after he tore his Achilles because he's like, I can't get into work. They're like, you have to come into work or we're going to fire you.
Literally the next day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bro. And it's like, we never like question that. We never go like, is that okay?
Oh, I questioned that shit. I questioned it right away. I'm like, this ain't right.
There's that pressure to like perform because we don't have anything to fall back on. Like, you get into the intersection of like, oh, okay, like I got trust funds, so I'm gonna be good. This was really just a side business. It's like, no, this was like my livelihood. And if I can't produce, they're gonna find somebody else to replace me. So I better get in line with the machines.
Yeah.
Better get in line with what I'm supposed to be doing. But it's like, can we stop and ask for the human component right now? Like, my man has lost his Achilles.
Yeah,
man.
It's gone. Where'd it go?
It's gone. Yeah.
This shit got colonized.
Oh my God. I got a black Achilles now. That's great.
It's good. It's a good one. He fast.
Just my left leg though, not my right one. My right one's still slow.
That one gimpy. That's a gimpy one.
Yeah.
That one, it was hilarious though, because Spencer's like, bro, look at this. And I was like, nah, bro, me and him wrote an email together, like, we gonna sue you.
Yeah.
And then they changed up the script real quick. All right, Spence, we gonna let you work from home.
Yeah. And just to say that I am very lucky to have somebody like Nas in my life that actually helped me with this, because otherwise I probably would have just went into work and been like, okay, let me do this.
How was you supposed to drive the car?
I know, right? And, and then also he used the term, this has been an HR disaster. For this.
Yeah. The company said that to him, an HR disaster. Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? A man can't walk.
Yeah, they're like, we're not built to have remote. I'm like, first of all, I work remotely every Friday. Literally every Friday I worked remote. So it's just extend it a little bit.
I'll still work. But, Spencer's like, I'll still collect my check. Let me just work from home because I can't walk.
And this is what we talk about, finding your voice. Because if Spencer himself was like, hey, this is kind of bullshit. Like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't walk. It still work. I can't walk. I know they both start with a W and end with a K, but they are not the same. One of these things is not like the other. But when Nas like helped him find his voice, if you can find just one trusted person, one buddy, like whether it be a partner, whether it be like somebody you work with, a friend, to be like, hey, let me do a quick sanity check. Am I? Because this system will handle you.
Yep.
It will handle you if you let like it's rough.
And especially if you just don't know, right? I mean, if you just don't know, a lot of folks just don't know. They think it's normal. I'm like, nah, this ain't normal, G. I wrote up some Schmitz, some Schmidt. I wrote up some shit like, Spence, you need to check this out. Send it. Spence did some edits. He sent it. I'm like, this is going to scare your boss to death.
Oh, it scared the hell out of him. He was like, what the fuck?
I pretty much said, oh, damn, what's homeboy? I do not condone any violence before I say this statement. What's that one real life thing where there was a slave uprising and they killed everybody? What's that movie based off of?
I mean, the Haitian
Nat Turner? Is it Nat Turner?
Nat Turner.
Oh,
it's Nat Turner.
Spence was pulling Nat Turner on the ass.
Revolt.
Yep.
The Haitians also had that kind of uprising, but the Nat Turner revolt.
Nat Turner. Okay.
Yeah.
Great scene. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick pivot and then the last scene because I know we're running out of time. Is I thought it was really good when she was freaking out on the cell phone, like, where's he at? So a lot of my clients get anxious. A lot of them like just rejection sensitive dysphoria, right? Because of their stuff, insecure. We're all insecure. So right when your partner's not texting you back and you're freaking out, like you're wondering, like for real, he was like dead or whatever. So when I seen her looking at the phone and her friend's like, I can find him. I'm like, ain't a better agent in the world, better than the CIA, better than the FBI, than a woman scorned. I'm sorry to gender it, but a woman scorned will find your ass. She will find it.
Fucking Edna.
She will find it. She's like, I found him. I'm like, damn, girl. Oh, you find it.
She is
Right.
hilarious. In any of the movies, she's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Really.
Nothing like a woman scorned, boy. Don't leave your phone. Hey, real talk. One of the homies, they were just scrolling. This always happens. FYI, if you cheating on your partner, delete Tinder when you're going to go back around them. I'm going to just give you a tip.
I really thought the second half was going to be don't do it. But he said, nah, double down and delete your apps.
Delete the app. When you go back to the house, delete the app. If you're going to be getting some strange, oh, I was lonely. He wouldn't give me affirmations. Tell him that.
Instead of just going out and getting some.
And then you get caught, and then we can't be mad at him for finding out, well, he looked through my privacy. Girl, you was getting some strange. Like, let's delete the app. Delete the app. People find things, right, by accident, by, everyone knows the Tinder beep boop. He heard the beep boop.
Beep boop.
All right, I'm done with that. Dumb fuckers. Last scene.
God, be better at cheating.
Be better at cheating. Keep it in your pants.
Damn. Yeah, shit.
Watch some porn like everybody else. Jesus.
Here we go. It's not the same, Nas. It's not the same.
I need a connection.
I need a connection. That's why you got a boyfriend or girlfriend. That's the whole point.
That's why you got a partner. They got holes too.
Next scene. This is one that I picked out. This is Frozone. So the robot that Syndrome actually sent is now destroying the city, and Frozone needs to find his super suit, right? But his wife put it somewhere. Where'd she put it? I don't know. We don't find out where she put it. But I picked this scene out because honestly, it's just one of those. It's just a classic scene. Everybody uses it in the socials, and I just think that the importance of her night is a lot more important than the city. It's like, where are you gonna go out now? Like, the whole city's destroyed. How are you supposed to go to dinner? There's a big robot destroying everything. What are we supposed to do here? But yeah, I just want to put that out there. What are both of you? What about this scene do you love? Let's just do that. What do you love about this scene? Samuel L. Jackson
Daniel,
keeping it down.
you can go to first, Daniel. What you got?
Yeah.
Oh, I would just say like representation. So this is like early 2004. You didn't see a lot of superhero movies with black superheroes, unless they were like kind of comical as well, right? Like shout outs to Damon Wayans and Robert Townsend, but like
Blank Man.
yeah, right. So it's like with this, it's like okay, he starts out like his first introduction is I'm cool. I don't tell people my secret identity. Like they be trying to do it to save the relationship or whatever. I'm like that's fine, you do you. But then you find out that he is actually like this family man that has to ask his wife where his suit is. So it's like okay, you see a human side, an element of him, and also like just the dynamic of like my the world's in jeopardy, my evening's in jeopardy. So it's like the world is always gonna have something wrong. She was like, we gonna focus on us right now. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. And of course it's Samuel L. Jackson. So those are always good tenets.
Ooh, a good tie-in throwback actually, because the world's always going to need saving. Mr. Incredible talked about it in the first scene. He said, I wish you would just stay saved for like a fucking few minutes. God damn it, I just saved you. I got to save you again?
Yeah.
There's always something. There's always something to do, and it's just you never get a break. And so you get him, and right, she's saying that funny stuff, and I'm just like, that's a strong black woman right there. That's a strong black woman. That's why, she'll put your ass in check.
I wonder if she was a superhero
I love
too.
Button. She could have been.
Hold on.
She could have been.
That was a black woman.
Come on, man. Nothing like him.
God love him, blame.
Love him. He knew what he was doing when he made the black one.
Can we also point out that like Frozo's like has a penthouse suite? Like dude's doing well.
Doing well.
After not being a hero. He's doing pretty well.
One of them black jobs that Trump talked about.
Oh. They stole it. Damn it.
They're taking your black jobs. Oh my God. What the fuck is he though? Like an engineer? No, engineers ain't living in no penthouse.
That'd be great if he just made like ice cream or something. And he was like the Ben and Jerry's.
It could have been.
Fucking ice cream world.
The Frosties, man.
Hey.
Hey.
He knows Frozen.
He knows Frozen. Yeah, it was a good scene, Spence. Why do you like it so much? It's just because it's like funny representation? What's the vibe? Why'd you pick it?
It's funny, like chaos is happening in the background while, his wife's just worried about the evening, It's just like everything's getting destroyed. What are we supposed to do here?
I feel like this is a subtle shot of your partner.
Hey, she knows what's happening.
Baby, go where my shoes at? I don't know. Bitch.
Same place your Achilles is. Like, damn, baby, you ain't gotta
Oh, damn.
She goes at me, and then I go, hey, you're a black woman. Calm down. You ain't getting represented well, so let's chill out here.
All I know is ain't no one in this booth right now. I ain't got no girl, but ain't no one in this booth gonna say shit like he did. Woman? Ain't none of y'all saying that. You're gonna be like,
oh, I say woman all the time.
You're gonna be like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I like to point out that Spencer's voice dropped down 2 octaves when he talks to his wife.
Damn right.
They're like, hey, girl, you gonna do what I said.
Yeah, you better chill out now. She's like, okay.
I know what Spencer acts like around his girl, and it's the most loving, cuddly motherfucker I've ever seen. Like, I ain't never seen. I'm like, this dude full gay.
Hey, I give my love to my black woman. All right,
does.
I give the love she deserves. All right,
She gets
but at the same time, step out of line. I'm gonna get him.
I throw some grits on you.
Hot grits.
Man, I ain't never seen someone be so lovey before. Because I'm used to my friends all being like just a different type of autistic, and they be like, "Yeah, she's sitting over there." I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah. She by herself right now.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm like, you love your wife, Con? She's there.
She's there. She's stuck around.
Yeah. How was the wedding? Fine. Okay. Don't get too emotional on me, Big Daddy.
Oh my God. He is buff though.
I saw Spence. He'd be at the house, right? And he and her, right? And he'd just be all cuddled up with her and on top of her. I'm like, look at this man. It's a good couple right here.
Love language, touching. Yeah. That's how it go. You're more than one.
Real quick, Daniel, what's your love language? Young man, what's your love language?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I would say quality time, acts of service, and touch. Top
Okay.
3.
All right.
Nice.
There you go. Spence, I would assume touch is one for you. Is it one for her?
Yeah. No, it's both. It's both. Because I'm not really touchy-feely unless I'm like really comfortable with you. And then also, yeah, quality time. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But also making sure that we have like our own space because we're both like we're our own individuals. And so we like to make sure that we give ourselves our own space because sometimes, if you're around somebody too long, no matter who it is, sometimes it's just like you can just get pissy with them.
Yep.
And so giving ourselves our own space has been very important. And then just making sure that we do have that quality time in there as well. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's definitely quality time. And, I learned that new term, that pebbling. You give them little things. Maybe it's a fact. Maybe it's some memes or reels, right? Just these little tiny anecdotal things, little tiny things that add up to a lot. And so if you look at it, you're like, this is stupid. But, they add up. Hey, Naz, I need you to help me out with this. Okay. I might not always be the first one to like offer, but if you have, okay. Right. My boy, one of my boys is, like a very affirming dude. And I'm not with that. It's just not my thing, right? All the compliments and words and all that, right? And then hugs. It's not my shit. But he asked me to help him move to Chicago. I got your back. Tell me when. I'll pick the shit up, right? I'll move it. I offered to move his whole fucking house for him for free. He's like, I ain't gonna do that to you. I was just saying, I love you, man. So mine shows up different in different ways, but maybe that's an acts of service thing. I don't know. You call on me.
I think, for sure, acts of service. Cause like when you it's like when a friend comes in and says like, hey, can I just vent for a second? Or like, hey, I'm really struggling with something. And then you start coming up with a list of things they can do. They're like, well, I wasn't really looking for that. I just wanted to be heard.
Okay.
And I think that knowing that is like a love language that's investment in your relationship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Speak your truth, man. Let it run. Cause I'll just sit here and listen. Yeah. I don't know. It's different. It's different, man. For every person I think that we're with, we change it a little bit too to make sure it's congruent with them.
Yes.
But yeah. Random conversation. Been a blessing having you, man. Been a blessing having you.
Hey, I appreciate y'all. Yeah.
You took the punches like a champ. You took them like a champ. Right? You didn't. We almost knocked you out a couple times, right? You glitched out twice.
You said what?
What the fuck
you just say?
Yeah. He didn't know what to say, boy.
Oh yeah, it's been great, Daniel. Any plugs? Anything that you're doing that you want to get out there? Socials, things like that.
Any work, books, whatever you're doing, any person you want to plug. What you can promote yourself or anyone else, doesn't matter.
For sure. No, I appreciate it. You want to follow me on Instagram? My public account is DLatSoul. So it's the letter D, LATT, like the first 4 letters of my last name, and then soul, all one word. I am also under this name for LinkedIn. If you're looking for a more professional consultation, please feel free to reach out. But yeah, those are pretty much it. And then shout out to Erica for putting me on to you all. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Shout out to your professors, your mentors and your loved ones. Any loved ones you want to give a shout out to?
Oh yeah. Shout out to my wife, to our 2 cats, to my family, on like all 4 branches. So I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, for supporting me in the ways that you know how. So I would not be here without them.
There it is.
Nice. Amazing. Yeah, definitely would love to have you back, Daniel. We were blessed. Sure. So with that, I'm Spencer. That's Nas, Different Spectrum Podcast.
All right, everyone. It's been a blast today. Much love, and remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
It's completely up to you. Peace.
Go.
Skull. 4-0, big. 4-0. 4-0.
Go Lions. And I cut it off. Oh, I didn't cut off. Hurry up.